Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. So guys, it's crazy because I did a video about Canelo Plant and is the fight happening, what's going on. And literally I checked after I went on like 20-30 minutes onto Twitter. And what do you know? Michael Benson and Mike Coppinger tweet that the Canelo Plant fight is very close. And I said that maybe this time, I said in my video that maybe this time they'll do things a bit more quietly. There'll be no noise, there'll be no, inkling in the media. And what happens 30 minutes later? Michael Benson and Mike Coppinger tweet that Canelo Plant fight is nearing, and a fight in November looks very likely. This is good news, but again, we've been in this place before. We've been here before, and it's been taken away from us before. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm not, until I hear a fully official announcement. Now, one thing that is positive, I saw Caleb Plant training. I saw Caleb Plant in camp, so maybe they know something we don't. I do think Canelo will try to get the fight this time. Also, what I will say is that someone actually made a good point, Imran. The fact that now that the Pacquiao-Spence fight has fallen through, PBC need to do a big fight. PBC need to recuperate, and Canelo Plant will definitely do huge numbers. So it makes a lot of sense now. The fact that Pacquiao-Spence has gone, that a Canelo-Caleb Plant fight happens. So I think PBC will do all they can to make that fight, and I think they'll probably agree to Canelo's demands as well, because I think they want that fight to go ahead, because I think they'll realize how big that is. They'll realize the numbers that does. And let's be honest, one of their biggest fights of the year has been basically scrapped, and now the fight that they're having, Pacquiao-Ugas, isn't nowhere near as big. So for them to get Canelo on their platform, they know that's going to do great business for them. So it makes a lot of sense for them to look to make that fight. I think it makes a lot of sense for them to get Canelo on their platform, right? And here's the most important thing, which I think PBC and Fox and all those guys should look at, is that if they have a great, smooth relationship with Canelo, Canelo is not going to mind being on their platform again. So remember, they've got other fighters that Canelo may be interested in fighting, like Benavidez, like Charlo. So this is what I'm trying to say, that if they do everything smoothly and they make Canelo happy, the chances of him doing business with them again is very likely. So that's the way I would look at it. Rather than trying to tie him down, this, that, and frustrate him, this, that, and the other, I reckon I would just please him, because then he'd more likely to come and fight on your platform again with the guys that he's interested in fighting. He's already said he wants to fight Charlo. So Charlo's with the PBC. Charlo fights on Fox. So there's a great chance that that fight could happen. If Canelo feels that Fox and Al Heyman, they're very fair, they do everything great, the chances of them getting Canelo on their platform again is very likely. Because they have got fighters that Canelo's interested in fighting. So personally, I think this deal makes sense for everybody. Hopefully they can get this deal over the line. Hopefully they can get this fight over the line, because I think we all want to see it. We all want to see whether this fight, whether Canelo can be undisputed, or whether Caleb Plant can become undisputed and shock the world. Because that's why we want to watch. We want to see a good competitive fight that two guys can win. I know all of us probably think Canelo will beat Caleb Plant comfortably, but at the end of the day, that's why we watch. We're not watching because it's scripted and we know what's going to happen. We're watching it because we know that there's an element of surprise at times in sport. So that's why we watch sport. If it was always guaranteed, no point in watching it. So this is what I mean. Hopefully they can get this fight over the line, because this year has been very bad for boxing. Let's be honest, it's been a nightmare. Initially we had Teofimo Cambosos cancelled. We had Fury Wilder cancelled. Joshua Fury initially cancelled. Pacquiao-Spence been cancelled. This has been a horrible year for boxing. Casimero Donaire cancelled. That was a fight that I was looking forward to. Literally, how many fights have we had cancelled? This hasn't been a good year for boxing. every big fight, or like Canelo Saunders happened, but you know, the Canelo Plant fight fell through, and now that looks like it may happen. But the amount of fights that were made and cancelled, and it's not good. It's not good for the sport of boxing, because a lot of fans are frustrated right now. A lot of boxing fans are very, very frustrated. Very, very frustrated. I spoke to a lot of them on Facebook, and it's just kind of like they're demoralized at this point. They're demoralized because the fights aren't happening. The fights they were expecting to happen aren't happening, and it's left a lot of boxing fans demoralized. You know, there's a lot of hardcore boxing fans that want to see great fights, and when they see stuff like this happen, they get really demoralized. This isn't good for boxing. The fact that, you know, I know some of these, like the Spence situation was unfortunate. Things can happen like that. But, you know, the COVID and the fights not happening, and Joshua Fury, the fans being led up the guard. Like, this really frustrates and irritates fans. Fans are at this point where they think, oh, no big fight's going to happen, because they don't see it. They just think that, you know, it's not happening. They're getting frustrated. Do you understand where I'm coming from? The fans are really frustrated right now. And until these fights happen and get made, you know, it's no good. I just hope for boxing that, you know, Canelo Plant happens, because we're not going to get Pacquiao Spence this year now. You know, we were hoping that we would get Joshua. Well, we got Joshua Usyk, which is a big fight next month. You know, we've got Joshua. Joshua was supposed to fight Fury, right? Canelo was supposed to fight Plant. Pacquiao was supposed to fight Spence. You know, Fury was supposed to fight. Now he thought was going to fight Wilder, but that got cancelled. So everything seems to be, you know, not happening. And there's a lot of, you know, people are worried that maybe the Fury Wilder fight may not happen again. I hope I see it happening this time. So we will get some big fights towards the end of the year if we do get Plant Canelo, if we do get Fury Wilder. If we do get, you know, Joshua Usyk, we hope there's nothing goes off there. And we are going to get Pacquiao Ugas. So there is boxing to look forward to. It's just, it could have been so much greater. 2021 could have been the year. But unfortunate with the current climate that we live in, you know, Ben Granados was another fight I was looking forward to. With the year that we've had, right, we were promised so much, but it didn't quite deliver to what we were promised. And I think that's what, you know, probably upset some of the fans, because we thought we were expecting this, that, and the other, and we didn't kind of get everything that we were expected. So although it wasn't a bad year and it was a decent year, it wasn't the year that we probably expected it to be. And that's why some fans have left frustrated. Could they make some of the big fights towards the back end of the year? Some more big fights? Could they surprise us? Possibly. You know, there's some big fights that I would like to see still. You know, I'd love to see the Jamel Charlo Castano rematch. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. I would love to see Terence Crawford fight Sean Porter. That's not a done deal yet. That could possibly get done. You know, Amir Khan, Kell Brook is being talked about. I know that's not at world level anymore, you know, the relevance, but still, it's still a big fight here in the UK, and it's a fight that I want to watch. So there still are some big fights that potentially could happen, and you know, save the day, to be honest. But again, it's you know, it's not gonna, all of those fights that I mentioned probably aren't all gonna happen. So let's see. Let's see if these fights happen. Let's see if we can get the fights that we want to see over the line. And Canelo Plant is definitely one of those. So yeah, I personally think that this fight will happen. I think Canelo will fight Plant. I think Canelo wants it. Canelo wants to be undisputed. So that's why when I heard all the news about Canelo and Bivol and stuff like that, I was like, nah, I don't think those are going to happen, because I don't think Canelo's really that interested. I think his goal is to become undisputed. So he's going to try all he can to make those fights happen, or make that fight happen with Plant. And I was kind of right. I just felt like this Plant fight was going to happen. I don't see, you know, Canelo fighting a light heavyweight. I think that was last resort. And I think that's why they cancelled. that Bivol fight and said, you know what, we're not going to fight in September. We're going to fight in November. Because I don't think Canelo feels that it's right for him to go up to light heavy or even fight at catchweight. There's no point. I think the reason why Canelo was willing to fight at catchweight is because he knew that he was going to have to come back down to fight Plant. And he's thinking there's no point of me going up to 175 because it's not. I think it's not good for his body for him to go up and come back down. You know, because you put on muscle, then you come back down. It's not great. It's not great, to be honest with you. So personally, did he fight at 168? I think he fought Rocky Fielding and then he fought Kovalev, right? So, but that was okay because he went up for Kovalev 1 fight. But I just don't think at this stage in his career he wants to mess around with his weight. I think he just wants to first clean up at 168 and then I think he'll move up to 175. The reason why I don't think he wanted to fight Bivol at 175 because he's thinking, if I have to go up to 175 to fight Bivol, right, then I'm going to have to come back down to fight Plant. And I don't think he wants to mess around with his body like that. So I always felt that I didn't think the Bivol fight was going to happen. I thought he was going to most probably not fight Bivol and then look to renegotiate with Plant. And I think that's what's happened. And it does look like that you know, the fight with Plant will happen. But again, you know, until it's officially signed, it's not official, so it needs to be signed. You know, signed and said that, you know, they're fighting on XYZ, they're fighting on this date, this is the venue, and until that happens, we can't be sure, you know. But let's be honest, we all are looking forward to this fight. We all want this fight to happen. We all know what this means in terms of history. Canelo becoming the first Mexican to become undisputed if he is to beat Plant. You know, for Plant, it's a legacy fight. It's the biggest payday of his career. It's an opportunity for him to become undisputed. You know, this is a great clash. This is a great clash between two great fighters. You know, one a Hall of Famer already, and one looking to put himself in that same kind of category or become a future Hall of Famer. So this is a fight that determines your legacy, greatness. All of these things are determined in fights like this. So for me, I hope it happens, man. I hope it happens in November. I personally think I'm in the boat now that I think it will, because I think Canelo is serious, and I think PBC, as you guys pointed out, after the fact that the Pacquiao-Spence fighters fell through, I think they're gonna want the fight as well because they're gonna want to make a splash. You know, they're gonna want to do good numbers and make sure that they hit their targets this year. And like I said, I think a Canelo Plant fight will be the biggest fight that they've had on their platform this year, without question. You know, it'll do huge numbers for them as well, and people will buy the pay-per-view without question. But yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Mike Coppinger, Michael Benson report that Plant Canelo is going to happen. What do you guys think? Do you think we're going to get this fight? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.